Melee in Dragon Ball Online Generations is something special. You can make questing through a bunch of mob kills quite trivial, as you can rotate between your moves while regenerating stamina or charging ki. So for even quests with a truly massive kill count like 50 Majin Buus, it is quite easy as a melee build. Furthermore, as a melee build, we are subjected to some truly devastating damage dealers, Final Revenger being your go-to ultimate, and then SS Lidley Hammer being a really good follow-up super attack. However, with that said, majority of the melee moves are hit or miss. Most of them are decent or bad, while like a select few are good and you're going to have them in your loadout. For example, here's my loadout. I have a counter, then I have some chase moves to close distance, then I have my damage dealers. From what I've learned as playing as a melee build recently, is the optimal way to play is aggressive. You don't want to be passive, you want to be as aggressive as possible. This way, you can break their stamina bar and then get the moves in. That way you don't get hit at all and reduce the damage taken. Now, I'll admit I have a lot left to learn when it comes to melee. I am not the best player, but I do understand that chaining is really good for killing NPCs really quickly. Additionally, it is also really fun to play as melee because you can bounce them around and then hit them with moves, and it does just also look really nice. However, there is a massive downside to all this while playing extremely aggressive. As those who've played this game quite a bit, you might have already guessed it. Yes, counterattacks will get you if you're not paying attention, and those can be a royal pain and do a lot of damage to you and potentially one-shot you if you're not careful. However, besides the skill issue, that is counterattacks, there's something else that's really cool with melee. That is, if you are a good enough player, as Dizzy Despair is here, you can lock down bosses and make them just get rolled. They won't stand a chance with your aggressive play and your moves, and can make some of the hardest raids irrelevant, because simply you are too good at using what you have as a melee player. Now, as we've seen, melee so far is quite good, but these are only a select few moves. How about the rest of the moves? How well are they really? For the most part, to determine how much damage a move will do is based off the cost. Moves that cost more will often do more damage. The same goes for ki. Moves that cost more ki will do more ki damage. Moves that cost more stamina for melee will do more melee damage. So, for those who don't know, the attacks in this game scale based off Saga from what I've been told by my friend Dizzy. For example, the move Ultimate, Wolffang Fist, will do next to no damage, while the ultimate attack, Fierce Combination, will do all the damage in the Dragon Ball Online Generations. It is actually absurd. Some other late game really good ultimates are Nuclear Kick. It is a chase one, it does good closing distance and damage, and then Final Revenger, which is like Fierce Combination, does a bit less, but NPCs can't get out of it. Galactic Tyrant is also pretty good, but you're not going to use over something like Fierce Combination or Final Revenger, but if you don't have those, you can use this. By far, in my honest opinion, the two most disappointing ultimate attacks are Dragon Fist. This is the one Goku uses against a big bug monster in one of his movies. It does acceptable damage. It does give you iframes, but for the final ultimate attack you get in the shop as melee, it's really not all that worth it unless you really need the iframes. The other one that is a bit more understanding is Kaioken Finish. Now, I really like this one. It's probably my favorite looking ultimate attack, and I just wish that it did more, but it is one of the earlier sagas, but I really wish they fixed the balancing of the sagas, because it is kind of stupid that moves are go based off how early you get them damage-wise and not actual cost-wise like it should. Alas, that's just one of the many balancing issues with this game, hence why the thumbnail has unbalanced in it. So to conclude this section of the video, if you want to determine how strong ultimate attack will be, figure out where you got it from in the saga. If you got it from the later sagas, it'll most definitely be one of the strongest, and if you want super attacks to determine how strong those are, look at how much they cost, and the ones that cost more will often be the stronger ones. Of course, fighting styles are next, however, these are all preferenceable, as in, they're all based on what you want to play. The fighting style you choose doesn't really matter in general, unless you like it or not. That's the deciding factor. Of course, there's also weapon fighting styles. It's what I use, simply because I think it's more flashy, and I like the fact that I can use a sword in a Dragon Ball game. Another thing about Melee is you have access to some of those powerful counters, but I personally suck at timing the counters. I have yet to learn timings for them against NPCs or get it down, but if you can do it, it can really trivialize a lot of things. So if you want to and you want to learn how to trivialize a lot of stuff in this game, just learn counters and you'll be good off. There is one thing Melee does completely suck at compared to Key, and that is gank fights. You cannot fight more than one NPC at a time without it being really frustrating because you're locked on as a Melee player and you have to like focus in. So if you aggro multiple, good luck with that. Unlike the Key counterpart, you can't Key blast them or Eraser Cannon them and take care of it. You gotta 1v1 them, and that's hard when you're getting 3v1. Another thing regarding Melee is that when you're mastering forms, the mastery goes by your light attacks. So how many of our light attacks you do is how quickly you will master your forms. So just thought I'd put that out there in case some don't know. And since it is, well, Melee. Melee is a really fun class to play as, and I really enjoy playing as Melee. Even though I suck at up-close combat in this game, it still has its moments where it is really fun. Since it's all about timing, understanding your opponent, and not getting too greedy. Though I love getting greedy, it is my most obvious trait as a player. It truly is unbalanced though, since some of the supers, not some, most of the supers are complete garbage, and you only use a select few like Brave Punisher, Access Deadly Hammer, Noble Rush, and some other late game ones, and all the early game ones usually suck really bad. Another thing I need to add is that if you've done some of the background gameplay, if you play a low stamina player like I do, then usually what your go-to is to drain the opponent's stamina bar, break it, and then you'll start using your heavy hitter moves. That way you don't deplete all your stamina for nothing. Now I do have a long ways to go to actually avoiding damage altogether and not getting hit, but that comes with time and practice. So yeah, just deplete their stamina bar if you have low stamina yourself and you'll be fine. And on the topic of raids, moves do drop from raids. The really good one I'm using is Rage Shining Assault, whatever it's called. It is quite good. It drops from this raid right here, Super Android 13. I would recommend getting it. It's only 1500 energy cost and it is really good. So fellow Melee enjoyers, I'm going to show you my go-to combo, and then I want to know what yours are. So I'll show you mine, then you tell me yours. So anyways, that's really going to do it. I've had a lot of fun playing this game lately, and Melee's been a blast. So if you've enjoyed Melee too, that's great and that's good. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope I helped you understand some of this some more, because I definitely didn't know much before I started playing again. Anyways, you're all truly beautiful. Have a wonderful day.